Hello, guys, welcome to Insurance Overview. In this video we want to know about the life insurance, protect what you've got. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. While protection isn't speculation, it's a significant piece of sound, insightful individual monetary administration. Protection will be security. It safeguards all that you've endeavored to procure. It safeguards your life partner in case of an unexpected passing. It sends the children to school. It keeps intact a family when cash ought not to be a worry. You want protection, however, looking for the right inclusion to safeguard your family and your resources resemble learning another dialect. Term life, entire life, general life, genuine money esteem, profits, advances against strategy. It's a labyrinth of protection items out there, and observing the right inclusion for your necessities might take a little. The starter seminar on taking full advantage of the most run-in life coverage yet having the assurance you and your family need. Life insurance. There are two fundamental sorts of life coverage with various minor departures from a topic. Term extra security is the most straightforward to comprehend. It's additionally the most conservative security you can purchase. Term extra security is paid when the protected pass on inside a characterized term. A characterized period. Your life coverage inclusion is active. Term life accompanies an assortment of time spans. 5, 10, even 30-year terms are accessible. The more youthful you are, the lower the expense of the month-to-month premium. The dollar sum you pay for insurance every year are determined because of two variables: your age and the dollar measure of insurance you want. It's basic. A $100,000 term extra security strategy won't cost as much as a $500,000 strategy since you're purchasing less assurance. With term life, you keep things straightforward. The insurance agency pays X measure of dollars to the recipients when the protected individual passes on, as long as the strategy is active. That is to say, the demise happens during the term of the approach. In this way, the name term life coverage. Term life arrangements don't aggregate worth, you can't get against them, and, assuming you pick a present moment and well-being transforms, you wind up paying more for your term extra security than you would assume you purchase a drawn-out strategy, one that covers you as long as possible. To decide how much term life you want, including memorial service costs, extraordinary individual obligations, contract obligations, the possibility of paying the educational cost, and other huge costs that would get assets. Figure what it would cost your family for a solitary year. Then, at that point, increase by an element somewhere in the range of 5 and 10. Utilize the lower factor on the off chance that you have very little obligation and the higher variable assuming you're conveying several home loans and you have 3 children to put through school. That is how much term life you want to safeguard your family and every one of their assumptions. The other class of protection is entire extra security, additionally called long-lasting protection, widespread protection, variable all-inclusive protection, and other item names. However, the entire fall into the general class of inclusion called entire life coverage. The main distinction between term and entire life is that entire life covers you from the purchase the strategy until you kick the bucket. You pay for what seems like forever insurance installment every month. There is no term for the entire life. Get it when you're youthful and your expenses will be low. Begin building cash esteem. That is the other contrast between term and entire disaster protection inclusion. Entire life delivers profits. Not much, but rather profits that can be utilized to bring down month-to-month expenses, or they can be permitted to aggregate acquiring interest. When the entire life strategy has amassed sufficient money esteemed, you can acquire against that money worth to purchase a house or cover some educational cost bills. The drawback to making advances against the worth of an entire life strategy is that it brings the payout down to the family in case of the protected person's passing. Be that as may, an entire life strategy expands in esteem while giving assurance to your loved ones. The expense of inclusion is additionally higher. Hope to pay something else for $500K of your entire life versus $500K of term disaster protection. Just because the safety net provider is paying interest on your month-to-month expense, inclusion needs utilizing this previously. Try not to consider your entire life a cash producer. Expanding your wealth is not expected. That is a side advantage, a significant side. Yet the essential justification for buying your entire life is to safeguard your family in case of your premature demise. Life coverage sources. There are many insurance agencies and, surprisingly, more life coverage items, so conversing with a proficient expert is a decent initial step. A protection agent you yet. Remember, every protection merchant conveys a line of items from a predetermined number of protection suppliers, so each specialist will let you know her items are the best worth. Assuming you crunch the numbers yourself, you know going in how much inclusion you need to purchase. All in all, it's simply an issue of observing a trustworthy insurance agency offering serious risks and the advantages you're searching for. Another asset is your nearby bank. Frequently the best spot to begin investigating your life coverage needs. Banks have a wide scope of disaster protection items, and because protection isn't the essential business of a bank, you're bound to find clear solutions to your inquiries. One more motivation to visit your bank's protection rep is that your bank knows the monetary you, the amount you possess in accounts, how much comes in and goes out on a month-to-the-month assessment status, and other individual budget data expected to get the ideal sort of life coverage at the perfect cost. Converse with your manager. Life coverage might be an advantage alongside medical services and 14 days getaways. However, you may likewise have the option to build the dollar measure of inclusion with cash deducted from your check effortlessly. Associations, affiliations, your nearby chamber of commerce, and different associations are additionally hotspots for minimal expense term or entire life inclusion. Buying life coverage inclusion through an industry relationship, for instance, gets you a bunch of rates that convert into more inclusion at a lower month-to-month premium. Then again, when you buy term or entire life through your association, you, for the most part, don't have a selection of safety net providers, and that is a significant highlight to consider. Go with an insurance agency that is positioned exceptionally by Standard & Poor or some other rating association. Your agent or financier will control you toward the nature of inclusion so you get something else for your cash. Extra security sounds muddled, be that as it may. Rated in straightforward terms, it's something you can do with a confided and guide to point you down the correct way. Get life coverage. Get term life assuming you need loans. Get entire life if you believe your protection should assemble cash esteem against which you can take credits. It's your decision. Making the right one sets aside cash and conveys the inner serenity that main quality life coverage insurance conveys. Nobody likes to pay life coverage. It's discouraging. Safeguarding your family and your assets is additionally fundamental. What sort of extra security is appropriate for you? This is the thing you want to be aware of prior to conversing with a protection specialist or organization.